Hello.
Hello, everybody.
And welcome to
Mind Body Stuff. This is Kali.
Oh,
no.
This is Bernice. Oh my gosh.
We're
off to a great start.
Sometimes I think we're like being filmed, but we're not. So you can't know that I'm not Kali. I'm Bernice. But I was introducing her.
You were.
Mm-hmm. And
She was gesturing towards me.
Mm-hmm, I was, yeah.
Kind of.
In a gentle way.
In a
sort of
subtle way.
A subtle way.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Okay. B, would you like to introduce our topic this week?
This has been on my mind recently, and it's the topic of rejection and resilience. Mm-hmm. How we deal with rejection, all of us in our different ways, and what makes us resilient sometimes, and what makes us not resilient at other times with rejection in particular.
I like this one.
Yeah. And I'll go right into a personal story then, as you guys are all processing rejection and resilience. I have a family member right now, someone who's very close to me. Not my husband, in case you're wondering. It's not him. He's not rejecting me. Not yet, anyway.
He'd be a fool.
Yeah. That's it, baby. But I do have a family member who we've had some tension going on, and I really care about this person. But they're mad at me for a variety of reasons, maybe sometimes linked to honesty, and all sorts of other stuff. But this family member now is sort of rejecting me, not wanting to be involved in my life, not wanting me to be involved in their life. And I was going to have to see them recently, and I was like, I don't want to go. And I was trying to avoid the whole situation, and I didn't even realize I was feeling so strongly about it. But like the whole day before I was going to go see them, or they were going to be at the place I was going to, I couldn't stop like crying.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, geez, like, why am I crying? But then I realized like, oh, I have to see this person that doesn't want to be around me. Yeah. And it just brought up a ton of stuff. And then, so I had to sort of tap into, how do I deal with this person? How do I deal with that rejection? Mm-hmm. And how do I make myself just sort of show up? Yeah. And still go to this place where they're going to be at.
How did you do it?
I just forced myself to do it. Yeah. Even though I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it was almost like, well, I can't let the rejection control my life. And it wanted to color everything about how I've viewed myself.
Right. So, how was the interaction with this person?
It was not good.
Did you try, were you putting effort into it?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I kind of modeled the rejection.
Oh, to be like, you've rejected me, and so now...
I was friendly, like a smile on my face, but not attempting to make contact or to be more than like, hello. Being polite.
Yeah. So how do you think this ties into resiliency, or like how maybe not your own personal resiliency, but the resiliency maybe of the relationship, or like
yeah, the relationship. Like this is going to be a long-term relationship. I mean, this person's going to be in my life for a long time. And I'm feeling that the rejection is, I'm hoping that this rejection period is just a chapter in our lives. And that, in the next 10 years, maybe we'll have a different chapter.
I would hope it comes sooner than 10 years.
5 years.
Hopefully.
But
it's killing you. Like, I mean, it's really hard for you.
Oh, yeah. I feel, and again, why, I have this, it's a significant person, but still... I have lots of other things happening in my life,
right?
That tell that mirror back to me I'm a good person. Yeah. But this is very. It's like I am, I am rejected. Yeah. Yeah. And that means that somehow I'm not a good person.
But that's not necessarily what it means.
Why not?
Because if one person is having conflict with you, it doesn't mean you're not a good person.
That's true. Really? I don't believe her right there.
This is weighing really heavily on you.
It is.
Like, this is a big, big deal for you right now.
And you know what I would do normally if someone rejected me? If they weren't this close to me? What would I do?
You'd say, F you.
I'd reject them.
Yeah. But you can't reject this person.
No, I can't reject this person.
Yeah. So are you just riding the storm?
I'm like,
riding the wave?
I almost feel like I'm in this big storm and I'm just kind of hunkered down and getting kind of battered by it a little bit, but just trying to like survive it.
But do you feel like, kind of like we've talked about, your instincts in like these types of situations, like if your two options are fight or flight, you say that you usually flight? But you can't flight because of how close this person is to you. So do you feel like maybe you should try to fight a little bit? Or are you just going to kind of flight by just staying there but not energetically engaging with this person?
Yes, that's a very, very good point. Because I was just talking to another person about this. And they were like, well, maybe you should fight. You should interact with the person.
Yes.
And
don't
just model
honesty.
Their rejection. Yeah. Don't model it back. You know, like,
well, you're mirroring it back.
Yes,
you're treating this person the way that they're treating you.
Yeah, I'm doing the exact same thing. And they're like, you have to be the bigger person.
Right, because nothing's going to change if you guys are both rejecting each other.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But because it's unfamiliar to me, in a way, if someone rejects me that significantly, normally I'm like, done, bye, see you later. But so what I hear you saying though, Kaylee, like, this is a great lesson for me. And so I'm just feeling it as a reframe for me in terms of like, because I've been thinking like, this is so negative, what a bad person I am. But this is actually a time for me to explore how to do this differently.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How to push myself, and maybe that's the resilience. How to push myself out of my comfort zone, out of my familiarity of pattern, and do it different.
Right.
Instead of just being hunkered down in the middle of the storm, in a tent, being battered and sobbing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I do have some control.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think going back to our previous podcast about honesty, and I think you and I both kind of agreed that if the investment is high, then honesty is a good way to go through conflict with someone when the investment in that individual in that relationship is high.
Right.
So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for you to bring that element of honesty up, because also sometimes I feel like when someone rejects or is rejected, they're also still kind of waiting for resolution. Or like hoping for resolution.
Because there's almost a feeling of not resolution.
Well, it's not it's done. Here's the thing. Due to the proximity of your relationship, you can't reject each other.
Well, we could.
Well, you can't. You are completely intertwined in each other's lives.
Right.
I mean, it would take a massive undoing for you guys to actually be able to completely separate from each other's lives. So rather than, the rejection may be this short-term thing, but ultimately, you guys both are going to want to repair this relationship.
Mm-hmm. And me maybe more maybe I have to go first.
Well, yeah, you probably do have to go first.
I'm like, ew.
But it might be just like a really nice opening to this person to be like, this conversation is really not over. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to keep going into this and figure out why our relationship is the way it is now, because neither one of us want it to be like this long term. So when are you going to be ready to sit down with me and have like an honest conversation about how we can repair any damage that's been done, or how can we get to a place of not love, because you guys still love each other, but of this coming together and understanding each other's not only perspective but intentions, because ultimately you both love each other.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But there are hurt feelings on both sides, and it's not because nobody loves each other. There's so much love in the relationship. It's just also this like short-term phase that you guys are in.
Yeah. It was almost like what you were talking about the relationship you were just talking about.
Totally. And I think when relationships are really close or like very invested, like, you have to do the work.
Somebody has to step in.
Someone has to step in.
Right. Because
especially when both personalities are like, I'm just going to peace. Then you're like, well, this is going to be awkward for the rest of our lives.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I think it's
and you kind of fought in yours.
Yeah, but that's my response.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my response is the opposite.
Flight.
My response is flight. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think just kind of knowing our, not only knowing our responses, but knowing the person's response who we're in relationship with.
Yes.
But rejection, I mean, rejection can come in so many different forms. Like, rejection from someone we're very close with, that's really difficult. I think that is, at least for me, the most difficult type of rejection, because once you've been like intimate with somebody and then they reject you, it feels really painful.
Yes.
And like, so one thing we were talking about, you guys, is just, let's say, somebody who just got certified in ULA and wants to wants to start classes up at a location, or somebody who moved and wants to, reach out to gyms and find, places to teach. There is usually a lot of rejection that comes with this process. Like,
a lot of rejection.
I have 100% been there. When I first tried to get ULA off the ground, like, I contacted literally every fitness facility, studio, the campus, lifelong learning. Like, I contacted all of them, and only at the beginning one place said yes, and then maybe like a month later a second place said yes, but every single other location rejected me. And you asked me earlier, you're like, well, like, why did that not stop you? Because we see it a lot, instructors will get discouraged and they'll be like, man, I just kept getting rejected, and then it discourages them, and then it, and then it kind of, and then that process is too painful or too taxing or
personal too. It feels personal
that then they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put myself through this. Or you start to lose belief in yourself. But I don't know. I think for me, like, I just had a deep belief that it could work, and I wanted it really bad. And I think rejection
so your want for
resiliency.
Your want for it was bigger than the pain you experienced from the rejections.
Totally. I even had classes when I first started teaching that would have like just like nobody in the classes, to the point that the gyms would want to cancel my classes. And I look back now and I'm like, gosh, how did I handle that rejection? Or how did I handle the fact that I was hustling hard and I still only had, 1, 2, on a good day, maybe 4 people in class? And I even had gyms say, we need to cancel your class. We need to take it off the schedule. There's just not enough people. And then I just I said, please do not take my class off the schedule. Like, I will teach it for free. I worked my butt off to try to get people in my class. And it's not that, I don't know. It's like, maybe I had a deep belief. I did. I had a deep belief in it. I didn't think I was like the best instructor, or I don't even think ULA was maybe that great of a program yet at that point. It wasn't like, this is so good, but it was like, man, I just really wanted it. I really wanted it. And so I think this whole resiliency thing is kind of like, well, what do you really want? Like, what do you want, and how much are you willing to go through in order to get it or to continue pursuing it?
Right. Yeah. That's such a good point, because if you can ask yourself that question, what do you want? And then you can kind of override the sort of shameful quality of rejection.
Oh, it's so shameful.
So shameful. Like, it immediately goes into like failure, or, it just goes into
I think it like taps into all your insecurities, whatever they are. I think rejection just kind of hits them.
And I just think of those, like,
I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me.
I'm not really good at this.
I'm not good at this. I never should have done this.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Who am I to think that I could do this? Like, I think
that's such a good point. Who am I? Because it's not like, we were just talking about this last night about groupthink, about
groupthink.
When a what was it called? I can't remember right now, but like,
social acceptance.
Social acceptance. So it's almost like we're always waiting. Like, if 10 people say yes, then
somehow
I'll say yes too.
Yeah. But somehow it seems like that's what we do then.
Yes, exactly. So how hard with a new program? Because of course you're not going to have any people to say yes. You're not going to be supported in that.
Right.
In that social acceptance.
Right.
In that group thing.
Yeah.
It's just you carrying it.
Oh, totally. Totally. And I think that, I think anyone who is maybe really wanting, like, we have a friend who really wants a partner, but there's this fear of the rejection of going through the dating process and finding that partner. And it's like, I do think you have to keep like staying really connected to what are my ultimate desires? What are my ultimate needs? And just, I don't know, accepting the rejection without taking it personally. And I think that's the hardest.
That is a good point.
That's the hardest part of it, I think, is when we take it personally. But of course, if it's not the right person for you, you don't want to be with them. Not everybody has to love you. Not everyone has to be a fit. You're trying to find that one person who is a good fit, and it's inevitable
that there's going to be rejection. You're going to experience
rejection, and you're going to reject,
along
that path. And so, what do you think there? What do you think that like? How do you think that ties into resiliency? Do you think that's like past trauma, or do you think that like? What would make a person feel like it's fine? I'm fine with rejection. I'm gonna I can date. Like what do you think that is that makes someone be more willing to go through that process of finding someone, whereas like other people are afraid to go through that process to find someone?
Well, it's almost like their fear of they want so much intimacy or so much connection that they're just like, I just won't pursue it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone's like, yeah, sure, I'd like a partner. They're kind of easygoing about it. But it's almost like because they want it so bad.
Oh, interesting. That it takes on this weight that is
this
massive.
Huge, massive thing. And then you say to yourself, actually, it's so big for me, I can't go there with it. You know what I mean? It just gets bigger and bigger
because
and bigger.
There's so much attached to it.
Exactly.
And if you're tying like happiness is I'm going to have happiness when I have a partner, or I'm going to, and it doesn't even have to be a partner. If I get this job,
even a career.
Yes. Yeah. If I get, whatever it is that you're attaching this like end goal, this result to, then I think the process becomes a lot harder or a lot more daunting. It's kind of what you were
talking about the other day about that writer who was writing, she had that one successful book.
Oh, Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah. And then she suddenly had this fear of producing.
Well,
right.
Yeah, and the expectation upon her too, I feel like.
Right, because it became so important to her. And she acknowledged that because she had a successful book, and I could see where that would happen. Like, I got to have another one. Oh my goodness! It's not you're so into the product and not the process.
Not the process,
and that could be the same thing with the dating thing.
Yeah.
Versus just saying it's a process.
It's a process.
It's just a process.
There's going to be rejection on both sides. There's going to be fits. There's going to be people that don't fit.
There's going to be success. It's just the process. It's the journey.
And the cool thing about the journey and the process, and this is so it was a really good podcast. It was Krista Tippett's podcast on Being. Great podcast, you guys. And she was featuring hosting.
Love you, Krista Tippett, on Being.
Hey, love you. Hey, Krista, love you. Hey, Krista, are you out there? Love you.
Are you listening? Because I listen to you a lot, and I love your voice.
Late at night, it's just you and me. Sometimes you throw in someone else to join us. Anyway,
segue. Sorry about that.
Back to Elizabeth Gilbert. What were we saying? Now
I have
some images in my mind now.
The game there
a little bit. What was she saying?
How she had to be creative. How she had to focus on the process.
Oh. She said, okay, so when we focus too much on the end product, for example, let's say the book that she writes.
Right.
When we focus too much
I need a partner.
Or I need a partner. Or I need this career. Or whatever it is, when we focus so heavily on just this end goal. Or I do think it is something we produce. I don't know. Maybe not. I haven't thought about this enough yet. But what's really valuable is the process. And she said, you know what? Yeah, I've had books that totally flop, but I would never, ever not want to have written those books. Because even though they may not have been bestsellers, she's like, I love the process of writing much more than I love being a best-selling writer. And she said, with every project I take on, this project changes me. It allows me to grow and learn and evolve. And she said, we've got to start thinking more about the process rather than the product. And I do think that can transfer to so many different areas of life.
And you can see
and
how
it keeps
that
us
is
present.
related to rejection.
Oh God, yeah.
Because you think of
we put so much pressure on what happens at the what's this end goal here.
And it's almost like with this relationship I'm talking about, I've had this expectation in my mind of how this whole relationship is going to look as we age and all this stuff. And suddenly it's like, that's my goal is not being met. Of that, this beautiful relationship, and then I take that as failure,
totally,
and rejection,
totally,
and then I'm stuck because I got focused on the goal, or on my mindset of what I envisioned, and not on like this is the process of living. Yeah, this is the process of relationships. Right. Yeah.
This is the process also of being in a relationship with someone who is going through huge life changes in their own life.
Right.
You know, like that's also, I think, a really important piece is realizing we aren't just the same as we were 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I mean, we are both constantly evolving. And, you know, this person's life is pretty interesting right now, too.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's like, it's so hard not to take rejection personally.
Oh, my gosh.
But if we can, like, step back, like, just keep removing ourselves, like, a little bit further. And it's like, I mean, I don't want to say all the time, but maybe most times it doesn't really even have that much to do with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
it's
what do you
like,
mean?
Well, like, you're triggering something in this person. It's more about this person than it is about you. You haven't changed. I mean, not in your relationship and how you care about this person. What's different right now is where this person is in their life. That is a big thing that's changed.
Right.
And so for you to take this as personal rejection, I don't think it's warranted because this person is just in such a different headspace and life circumstance. Dr. Mirror.
Sure, Dr. Mirror. You're wanted on code 4, Dr. Mirror.
But it's so hard. It's so hard when relationships change.
Especially when we're not, because we're going to go back to the issue of control, which we talked about before. Yeah. But I'm not in control. And that's upsetting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's upsetting.
1, I don't have control. 2, the person's rejected me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, then what do I do? I'm not in charge here. I mean, I can't. I do obviously have elements of things I can do. Yeah. But I'm kind of froze up.
But I think, and this is really hard to do, but I think also we get in trouble when we think of always the long term because unfortunately you could die tomorrow. And so what matters now is the relationship, like right now.
Now. Not like not tomorrow or 5 years from now.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, I feel like sometimes we just keep waiting for things to change. And I think a lot of people feel stuck in their lives because they're just waiting for things to change. Or surely this isn't going to last forever. And then 15 years down the road, they're like, God, this is not where I thought I'd be in my life.
Good point.
It's like, okay, well, what are you going to do about today? Like how do you want to live your life today?
And again, that's kind of back to the process.
Yeah. And it's exactly back to what Elizabeth Gilbert said is she said, it's not the end product. It's every, you need to make, or you need to think about your life as your creative expression, not this product that you create by the end of your life, but every day is this creative process, this creative experience you're having. So let your life become what you wish to create. Just use your life to do that. And I loved that because I can get so hung up, even just going back to Ula, I definitely have dreams and goals of where I would like to see Ula go. But when I focus solely on that, I've lost the joy in the current moment because I'm not where I want to be. Mm-hmm, But where am I today? Mm-hmm. And where can I find the things that I'm really loving about today? And how can I appreciate how far I've come? And we get rejection with Ula all the time.
All the time.
We totally get rejection all the time. Time. It's like there are hard things about this. I just got a Facebook message from a really amazing instructor and she just moved to a new location and she's like, I'm getting so many rejections because everyone says that they have too much dance fitness. They don't need anymore. And I said, okay, we'll get creative about the way you describe ULA then. You've got to present this as not dance fitness. You have to present it as something else. Oh, it has to be this mind-body thing. It's got to be this like exploration of self. It's got to be an emotional release. Like you've got to start using words or describe it in ways that show that it is different. It's not just dance fitness. If there's a ton of dance fitness out there, then don't describe it as dance fitness. Right. You know, so like, but I mean, that's a side note, but rejection is hard. And I find it curious when it wears us down. Yes. And kind of like breaks our spirit. Right. And when it kind of almost adds fuel, like J.K. Rowling. Yeah. Like how many times was she rejected before she finally got...
at least 10 times, maybe more.
And so what about her?
I know. I was just thinking about her the other day when I was like, you know, feeling so bad about, I'm being rejected. My life is terrible. And obviously I've done all these things wrong. Of course they should reject me because that's where it takes us, you know, whether we've created a work of art or a book or whether in a career.
And don't you think it pulls in all of your insecurities? So thinking back to our previous podcast about our glasses, I mean, if you're triggered by I'm unlovable, then don't you think when you get into conflict with somebody that you really care about, then you're like that, I'm unlovable, I'm not a good person.
You've proven
and it just kind of it just kind of brings up it triggers you.
Right, it does.
In a really powerful way.
Right, yeah. And this one's been that's why this particular episode, this relationship is so good for me because I can't just walk away.
You can't walk away from this one.
Even though it's killing me inside, because part of me is like, walk away. Mm-hmm. This is hurting too much. Right. But then it's like, you can't walk away.
Well, and here's a weird, not a weird thing, but it's a different side to it because like, I also feel like in some cases not walking away, and I'm not saying this is bad, but not walking away is kind of also, it can be an enabling behavior.
Yes, that's also.
So I think part of you too, maybe being like, fine, does this feel good to you? Yeah. Like, I'm going to walk away too.
Yeah, because I'm like, my feelings are hurt too.
By the way. My feelings are hurt.
So, you know, I'm not God. Like, I can't overlook how my feelings also were hurt. Right. You know, because my ego is involved.
Yeah, and I just think about maybe more like destructive relationships where it's like I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to stay. You know, I'm going to stay with this person. I'm going to make it work. And then they find out that they're still in the same situation how many years down the road?
Yeah, 10 years later.
Just miserable. So I do think it's a tricky, maybe sometimes, and I'm not saying definitely not in your case, but I'm saying sometimes maybe we have to learn how to take rejection as a blessing and just accept it.
Yes, and as a tool for learning.
Yeah, and a tool for change.
And a tool for change. Yeah,
an opportunity for change.
It gives you all this information kind of about, so this you're sensitive to this. Because other people wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. You know, it just depends on the person. Yeah. So, that's interesting that I'm sensitive to this particular relationship and what's happening in it.
Well, and I think that you've got to have enough inner strength. You've got to have that reserve so that other people's rejections aren't a reflection of you and your own value. Yes. You got to stand firmly in who you are and your own value. So when someone rejects you, your whole life doesn't crumble or fall apart, or you don't question everything about yourself because somebody's rejected you.
And they talk about that in psychology, internal motivation versus external motivation.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So those of us that are external, it's like we're always looking to others. Like, is this right? Am I doing good? We're looking for approval. Tell me that I'm lovable. Tell me that I'm likable. Yeah. And then the internal people are like, they inherently just know that. So there's a very good, strong core to them in terms of like, I'm not internally motivated. I'm not externally motivated. I'm internally motivated.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
You know, so if you tend to be externally motivated, we can work with that and say, let's work on being more internally so we don't have everything based on whether you like me or you like me or you like me. Because that's going to make us not feel good a lot of the times because people come and go and people don't like you sometimes and people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I often think of people like J.K. Rowling. Rowling.
No, I feel like a song.
Get them
J.K. Rowling.
Right.
I'm thinking of a different one. J.K. Rowling.
J.K.
Is that an ULA song?
I have no idea.
They sing J.K. Rowling.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. There was an
over
old
and
song.
over and over, but it's like J.K. Rowling.
Oh.
Anyway, moving on.
But people like that, or even like, I was thinking about like Michael Jordan, you know, how he didn't make like the basketball team sophomore year.
Yeah.
And
do you think he had that inner strength?
I think there's an inner motivator in them where they're just like, no, you know, they're just so intrinsically motivated.
How do we build that up? But I think it depends also how personal it is. Because I could get rejected by a bunch of stuff. If I didn't care about it, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like if I applied for a job and I wasn't really that into it or wanted it,
we don't care about that.
Whatever.
But it's like if someone comes here and
there's
someone comes to our studio and they're like, I hate it here. And I'm always like, oh,
yeah.
I take it so personally.
And I don't take that so much personally as, you know, if someone was coming to ULA for 5 years and then all of a sudden they don't like it anymore. Because I'm like, you've been very intimate with me and with this experience, and now you've decided you don't want it.
Oh, that's a very good point.
If somebody comes into the studio for their first time and they don't come back, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the first time I don't mind because I'm like, you know.
I mean, it's disappointing. It's like, oh, I wonder what we could have done.
Right, and then
but
we do something different.
But it's most hurtful for me when I have had an intimate,
an invested relationship with someone.
But on the other hand, so I have been with my husband now for 15 years. And so I really haven't had that much experience with breakups and like getting back together, or not getting back together, but like finding new partners and all that. Like I really didn't date very much before I met my husband. And one thing that I've always found interesting is like why there is this stigma about when female friendships end. Because for me, nobody ever questions or doubts when you break up with a boyfriend who's not the right person for you. They're like, oh, you guys broke up? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, good.
But when two female friends stop being friends, everyone's like, what happened? Why aren't you guys friends anymore? But I'm like, aren't female relationships or say whatever. Or
any relationship.
Yeah, any type of relationship that's sexual or like not a partnership but a friendship, why aren't those relationships allowed to run their course? But like a physical or a partnership relationship, those are allowed to run their course. And I've never understood that, because part of me is like, I do also believe that we come into each other's lives at different points when we need each other and when we need to learn things, and we can grow together. But then when it's time for us to part ways, I don't think it's that horrendous of a thing for friendships to grow apart.
No.
And I've had several in my life where I'm like, man, I am so incredibly grateful for the time that we spent together, but we don't have to be friends now anymore because we're just at different places. But there's this like huge, like, they're not friends anymore.
Well,
what happened? Well, it's like, well, yeah, we grew apart, but it's like, but when it's with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whoever it is, it's like, oh yeah, you can break up with people. That's allowed.
Yeah, that's
it's like
weird.
Not allowed in a friendship. And so I think in that case, you know, rejection, whether it's been the other person who kind of initiated the end of a friendship, or whether it's been me, I think it's really important to not always take it so personally. It's like, I loved our time together.
Yeah.
But we're
now in a different time.
We're in a different time. And I'm really grateful for the time we spent together.
Right.
But we're not, you know, it's not right now anymore.
But I wonder why in intimate relationships, that it's okay to break up.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it
It's
weird?
almost like there's this weird thing of like, well, the person that you're in the intimate relationship with, you're going to be with for the rest of your life. There's a weird, like, overhanging understanding, like, pick a good one. This is it for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So everyone's like, well, that's okay. It didn't work out because it's the rest of your life.
Oh,
that you're with this person.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas, like, just regular friendships, it's just all like, well, why wouldn't you be friends with them? I mean, it's just easy going. Like, there's no, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird...
Isn't it weird? And I don't know. Maybe part of it for me is, like, casual friendships I can maintain for a really long time.
Yes.
But it's, like, more like, actually, for me, the intimate ones who run their course.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because... then for me, I'm like, well, maybe we really like learned everything we needed to learn from one another.
Right, and maybe we need to move on to the next person.
I don't know.
People.
It's interesting. I've been kind of thinking about that.
Yeah,
in
that
my
is
own life
interesting.
a little bit with that.
in terms of intimacy and rejection
and maybe I actually, like, who knows, I'm just coming up with this right now. Maybe I actually struggle with intimacy and don't know how to maintain intimate relationships long term. I don't know. Maybe the only person I actually can do that with is, my husband. I don't know.
Your husband and your family members.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I know I wasn't good at maintaining friendships for a long time. Uh-huh. And so I don't really have many friendships from my childhood or high school or college. Everyone's like, where are all your friends? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. I didn't really think about it, though, at the time.
Yeah.
Because I was always moving around and doing different stuff.
Yeah.
And, but now as I've gotten older, like in the last maybe 10, 15 years, I've developed longer term friendships.
Yeah.
But I haven't been so invested in them.
Right. You always keep your distance a little bit.
Because then I just want to maintain them.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be
Isn't that interesting? When they get too intimate, then you're like, uh-oh, this could end.
Right, because then it's almost like it's like life or death, or,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's interesting. When you let people in too close, then there's the risk of actually losing them.
Yeah, and we don't, it's not like a marriage where you're stuck. Like, well, because in marriage, even times you get to those places where, like, I can't look at you one more fucking day.
Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
But of course, you're like, but,
we're married, so we
gotta figure it out. And I got
Yeah.
2 of your kids running around my feet,
Yeah, right.
But in friendships, it's like it's almost like if you get too intimate or too interdependent,
then you're like, uh-oh. And I think maybe that's part of my problem, is that I get so interconnected.
Yes. Yeah, and then suddenly it's like, it just doesn't...
Yeah, and with a marriage... Then you just know you're forced to stay together.
You're forced.
I mean, you're not.
You're not, of course.
But I want to be with this man for the rest of my life. So
exactly.
I'm committed to getting through our issues.
Right. It's like your friend. You're not like, well, I gotta work through this with her. So because we're gonna be together for another 10 years. It's like, no, you don't have to be. You don't have to be. And
isn't that interesting about?
That is interesting.
Marriage, though, like, I
just think balance is so important too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want to be like...
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It's interesting. Now that I've had children, I feel like
I wonder if that's when it changed for
I think
me.
it did. Oh, for you?
Yeah.
I think it kind of changed for me, too. It's like, I'm not so desperate on the intimacy of friendships, because I'm like, I have these very intimate relationships.
Yes.
With my family unit. And before I had a family unit, I was desperate for that intimacy of this, like... group.
Yes.
Like, whether they were family members or friends, or I wanted my quote unquote
group
family.
Yes.
Because I didn't have my own.
Yes, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
that's
so now
a very
I feel
good point.
Now I feel like I'm less dependent on my friendships for everything, because I'm like, my family is my stability and my attachment point.
And they take a lot of energy too.
Oh my God,
it's a great thing. I didn't realize how much psychic energy it was going to take to have a family.
So cute, a family.
I have a family. But they're so cute, and even as they grow up, like, you're just watching the person change, and
I know.
But it's still, you're very like, it's a lot.
Obviously, this is I think that this ties into it. I don't know exactly how, but I remember when we found out that Piper was a girl, and I was sad. Not that I didn't want 2 girls, but I was sad because in my mind I envisioned that me and Huxley would be best friends, and that the second kid was going to be a boy, and I just had these visions of me and Huxley, like, going on all these girl trips together, and like me being the one that she always called whenever she, wanted to talk about something. And then once I found out it was another girl, then I'm like, oh my gosh, the sisters are going to be closer than me. And then I'm just going to be stuck with that dad.
Alone with the dad.
Yeah, now that we have a third daughter on the way, I'm like, man, how are these dynamics going to work?
And you're not even worried about it this time, though.
Nah, I'm like...
Because isn't that funny how it changes over time? Like, you realize, like, that's our own personal stuff coming into our own personal development.
It totally was my personal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you hit the nail on the head. The same for me. It was like, when I had my kids, it gave me better balance in a weird way. Not that everyone has to have kids. Like, of course, you can find that on your... People have careers sometimes, or they have their...
just partner. I mean,
whatever.
Or they mother projects. They mother, whatever. I feel like anybody has the ability We're sharing a cinnamon roll right now, and you look disappointed by what's left. You can eat that.
You can have the pecan, because I ate all the pecans off the
ate
top of it.
all of it, and you left me with the dry.
I only liked the top part of it. We shouldn't have shared.
We should have cut it in half.
We should have cut
the best part. You're a brat.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think maybe these are just your and my personal experience with having kids.
And in relationships, of course, we're all different.
Oh, can I say something really quick? I think you and I both, as young people, were desperate to find really strong attachments.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Desperate. Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I think you and I were both like just really craving those.
Driven to find.
And I think we found it in our family unit. So I'm not saying everybody is going to find it there, or maybe not everybody even needs or wants that.
Exactly. You could want something completely different. That's kind of a value system too.
And some people don't want these attachments because they're afraid of getting hurt. They're afraid of rejection. But ultimately then maybe it means they want it even more because they're so afraid of that rejection.
Right, because we were more driven, like, we already knew rejection in that way, in a weird way, you know what I mean, of not having that.
Sure.
So we were driven to, like, I don't care if I get rejected, I just want it.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's like the new song of the week, Pink's song, I Am Here. Her lyrics, I feel like tap into that. Let me just see.
I am here.
Do you guys like that new song?
I do. I love it. I didn't like it. I mean, I like the song, but when
you didn't like it, but you're always negative when I pick the song. You're like, I don't like it.
No, it's not every song.
I don't like it.
I actually liked it when I listened to it, but I couldn't think of any way to dance to it.
Okay, so she says, I am here. I am here. I've already seen the bottom, so there's nothing to fear. I know that I'll be ready when the devil's near. I'm here. I'm here. Blah, 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 blah. And I think that's, maybe that's part of that resiliency piece.
Oh, I've already seen the bottom. So
I've seen the bottom.
I already know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to be alone, so,
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
Or whatever it is. Maybe not even loneliness, but whatever that kind of, that thing that you want is. Maybe resiliency is created when we kind of have to face it over and over and over. Don't you think some people are maybe more fragile when they've never gone through anything difficult? And then it's the people who have lived through the Holocaust. It's the people who have gone through the darkest, hardest, worst things that you're like, man, you are so resilient because you have been at the bottom. You've seen the worst and you are not afraid of it anymore.
Yeah, you've already been there. It's kind of like, this is a very lighter subject, but I never played games with anybody as a kid because I grew up alone. And so, my husband will get games out. We'll play games with the family. Yeah. And I hate losing because I never learned to lose. I never learned that in games, someone or a bunch of people lose.
So you have no resiliency when it comes to losing a game.
I didn't learn it. Yeah. It wasn't repeated over and over.
Very upsetting to you.
Very upsetting. So upsetting to me. I'm always like, I hate this game. I don't want to play anymore. And, but my husband will say, but that's why he has the kids do sports and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Because
he's like, I want them to learn.
It's important for them to learn how to lose.
Yeah, you have to learn to lose. He's like, B, you're not always going to win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not always going to win.
I'm a bad person. I suck.
I'm not a winner.
Right.
But like for him, as growing up doing sports and playing games, to him it's like funny. Like, oh, I lost. Yeah. That's great. Let's play another game. Yeah. High resiliency.
So gosh, maybe we just need to keep putting ourselves out there in situations where we are going to fail. We are going to lose. We're not going to be picked. We're going to be rejected. Someone's not going to like us. Like, keep showing up in our lives.
I love that.
For that opportunity to be rejected, because I do think that creates resiliency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it becomes familiar, and it also, we know that it's
less
not
scary.
It's not the end of our world.
Yeah, it's
like,
not
this
so
is not
scary.
The end,
Exactly.
You were rejected, and then go forward.
And then go forward.
Yeah.
And I do think it develops, maybe we don't have that natural reserve of inner strength, but I actually think that if we can figure out how to do this right, the rejection can almost build that inner strength for us. If we don't let it just totally tear us down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you need, help during this process of getting there. Maybe you need to talk to someone or do other
and process it.
Ways to process this so you can turn that rejection into strength.
Yes. And again, be curious.
Yeah, you got to stay curious.
You got to stay curious. Like, why am I feeling so affected by this?
Oh, another thing that I think is really important for about rejection is taking it as an opportunity to say, okay, rather than being like, well, this is me and they don't like me, to say, I wonder if there are areas or things about myself that I could take a maybe a deeper look at.
Yeah.
And so I think
about,
yeah, and I think we're planning our Q3 workshop and blah, blah, blah. So we're thinking a lot about like thoughts and how thoughts are they're not us. They're not who we are. And we take a non-judgmental observer perspective of our thoughts.
Yes.
And so when we say, I'm going to approach this with curiosity rather than judgment.
Oh, I love that.
Then we can take that rejection and rather than making it a personal thing, we can open it up to, are there ways that I can improve? Or maybe there aren't. Maybe these are things about myself that I love and I really don't want to change. And it's just not for everyone. Or, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'd like to look at that. This seems to be a recurring pattern or theme in my life. So I'm going to look at this. I think taking rejection with the curiosity is not only what gives us that inner strength and resiliency, but allows us to evolve and continue to like upgrade into the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
I think it's interesting.
It's the gift of rejection.
Mm-hmm. And can you handle feedback? Feedback's hard.
Feedback's so hard.
We did a big client survey and instructor service survey, and for the most part they're like really positive. Man, there are some grumpy instructors and more instructors than clients. But it's really hard not to take some of that personally. But then it's like, wait a minute, that's one person's perspective out of how many survey results they get, like, I don't know, 200. Julie would know something. This, but like 1 out of 200, that's 0.5%.
Yeah, it's really.
And so when it's like you can't let the 1% outweigh the 99%. And it's when we take all of this stuff on so personally that we allow that to happen.
Right.
So just kind of stepping back and being like, okay, I wonder what's going on in their life, or I wonder what's going on in our relationship, or I wonder are these things that actually need to be changed, or it's just opening up that space for curiosity.
Yes, and not being
and like not being so personal.
Not being so in the subjective role, like, oh my, that 1%, half of 1% is affecting my whole life, and versus taking the observer role and be like, oh, now let's look at that.
Like, I'm not good at this. Like, Julie won't let me read the surveys. Mm-hmm. Like, I read a couple, and I was like texting her late at night. She's like, stop, you don't get access to this anymore. She's like, I'm going to present like a report to you about the feedback, and I will present it to you with like solutions and blah 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 blah. Because I suck at it. I'm bad. I take it personally, but
because the rejection.
And Ula is incredibly personal to me.
Oh, yeah. It's like your baby.
It is. I mean, it's my soul.
But that's why I think it's so funny. Like, when you started it, you were just like, I'm out there. People are rejecting you right and left.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't really have a relationship with Ula yet either.
That's true. That's a good point.
Just developing
But you did say, like, let's say you moved to Dallas.
Uh-huh.
You would do this
not
exact
ever move
same...
to Dallas.
I said it so
never
she wouldn't want to go
to Dallas.
She moves to Dallas, and she would do the exact same thing. You would go out and you would hustle. Yeah. But I guess for you, it would be like, well, they just don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet.
So it's almost freedom in that way.
Sure.
In terms of rejection for you. It would be different if it was like someplace that
sometimes I feel like I would be actually way better if I had to start over. Because like I'm just sometimes in cruise control. And I'm like, oh yeah, this just works.
Yeah, right.
I just like know how to do this and it works.
Right.
But I do think it'd be fascinating to actually try to go start up Ula again in a new place and see if I could do it again.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if I have the energy anymore
it's
that
a lot,
I used to.
And now you have a family, too.
You have 3 small children to take care of. I don't know. But I do remember the feeling of, gosh, those small little, anytime one person was like, wow. Like, I love this. This is different. Or, wow, I just experienced something in your life. Like, those were, they're still very important. They are to hear that.
Yeah.
But when there's nobody else who knows or cares about Ula, you're like, you're my person.
Yeah.
oh my gosh, okay, this is gonna work, because
Right.
you felt it, like you felt that moment, and then you have this your trust of the process grows a little bit more,
Right. Yeah.
and your
good point.
belief in it continues to grow, and I do. I don't know. I do have a lot of respect for anyone who starts ULA in a new community.
Yeah, that's a big.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You're literally putting your entire self
On the
there.
line. Yeah, you're just, you're not on the line. That was a
You're
bad
not
way
on the
to put it.
line.
I shouldn't have said that, because that's how I'm thinking in my head.
Well, because you're very competitive and
Yeah, and I'm on the line.
yeah.
But of course,
always
that
on the
drives
line.
me too.
It totally drives you.
It's a weird, but you've got to be careful. Again, the balance.
You like to walk that edge.
I
though.
like to watch the edge.
Watch the tempo. Watch the tempo.
I do like to walk the edge, and then sometimes I fall off for a little while. But then Kaylee's there, like, "Come on, get back up." I'm like, "I don't want to."
Oh yeah, you're like, I'm retired now.
I'm retired
No,
now.
you're not.
I'm hanging up my
Stand
dancing
up.
shoes.
But yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, for those of you who have overcome really difficult things, how do you feel like your rejection helped you, or how you found your resiliency through it all? Or,
what it told you about yourself, your
exactly.
reaction to it. And maybe you've had a variety of reactions to different types of rejection.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in hearing about that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
cool. Well, thanks for bringing your personal story.
Yeah,
into
thanks
it,
for
being-
letting me share that as I struggle through in my tent in the storm, huddled.
Maybe unzip it just a little.
I think I gotta unzip it and just
offer a cup of tea.
stick my head out. Hello,
Hello.
cup of tea for ya.
Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.